Hey, listen, can I talk to you for a minute? You have a moment? All right, look, I've been meaning to talk to you about this for a while now, and gosh, this is hard. I'm just gonna say it, all right? Look, I know we've been together for a while now, and we've had some good times. Like, we've legit had some really good times, but I've been thinking, and I need more, and I just feel like this is as far as we can go, and I just think that it's best that we call it quits now. Look, I know I'm sorry. I know this is hard. You weren't expecting this, I know, but listen, like it's not you. It's legit not you. It's me. Like I need more. And I feel like I've outgrown you and I've outgrown where we are. And look, please don't make this harder than I'm sorry. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is awkward. Oh man, I didn't see you come in. I know. I'm sorry. I know. Breaking up with Pro Tools. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were here. I'm sorry. Look, let me just. I got to finish this. Cue the intro, and I'll be right back. Cue the intro. Cue the intro. Alexa, open the studio.
McCrae music.
Wow. All right, guys. That was awkward, but we got through it. All right. Let me give you guys some insight into what's going on. I have been a staunch, on the record, Pro Tools user for my entire audio engineering career. In 2017, I went to school at SAE Institute in New York. Shout out to all of my folks from SAE. And I, in doing so, made the jump over to Mac. I was a PC user, made the jump over to Mac. And they gave me a new version of Pro Tools, another version of Pro Tools, which was a perpetual license. I didn't understand what that meant. I thought that it was just, you could just use it forever and ever and ever. Turns out it was just a year license as a student that at the end of the year, you had to renew, which I did not do. And so therefore the license expired. Now, when the license expires, you can still use Pro Tools, but you're no longer able to get updates. It's fine. I like the way Pro Tools wasn't really hungry for an update. I'm good. Fast forward a couple years later, about 2 years later or so, and I'm upgrading my computer system from my MacBook Pro to a Mac Mini. And I'm upgrading, obviously, the operating system. And so I'm ready to make the jump to a new version of Pro Tools. So I said, all right, well, let's go see how much it will cost to just go ahead and buy Pro Tools. I know I can buy like Logic for like 200 bucks. I know Studio One is out there. That's like, I think $400 or $500 or so. I think 400. And I can just own it. Let's see how much it costs to just buy Pro Tools outright. And to my chagrin, I discovered they had moved to a subscription system. Now what that means is that you had to either pay, I believe it was like $300 every year for a license, like you had to renew that each year, 300 bucks, or you could get a monthly subscription at like $35 a month. So like for the rest of your life, you had to pay $35 a month in order to use Pro Tools. Don't know how I feel about that. Don't really like it, but that's the DAW that I'm using. I use Pro Tools for tracking, for mixing, for mastering. I use Logic Pro for all my MIDI production and such. Absolutely love it. Don't really like the audio editing tools in comparison to Pro Tools, just my personal preference. So I'm like, well, I can't move completely to Logic. I don't really want to do that. Let's tough it out. Let's, we can afford the subscription. Let's go ahead and do this. Then I get wind of, after a while, of Universal Audio releasing a DAW called Luna. They released their own DAW, Luna, and if you have Universal Audio hardware, which I did, have the Apollo Twin, you can go to their website and download Luna for free. Fully functional DAW, absolutely for free. Only thing is brand new, so there may be some features and things that it did not have that other DAWs like Pro Tools had. So I said, well, I'll give it a trial, check it out. Saw some people talking about it. Said, let me check it out. So I download it, load up some stems into it, and to my surprise, I kind of was digging it. Like I used it, didn't use it seriously, used it for like a night, just played around with it for a little bit. said, man, this is nice, man. If they add some other features and things, I think this could be something. But I'm a Pro Tools user, Pro Tools. So nah, get this out of here. But then after a while, after several months and months of just having this subscription and not feeling like I was really getting anything for my money there, $35 a month, I didn't really feel like I was getting a ton of updates, a ton of upgrades. And I just wanted to go back and look at Luna again. I looked at Studio One. Just wasn't for me. I wasn't really feeling the interface. Just wasn't for me. So let me look at Luna again. And by this time, they had upgraded Luna and updated Luna and added some very crucial features that were missing in the early release of the DAW. And I really used it. I did some stuff in it for a couple days, and I said, I really like it. It did everything that Pro Tools did that I needed it to do from Pro Tools. And it honestly did some things that I liked better than the way Pro Tools did them. And I made the decision, you know what? I'm going to ditch this subscription and I'm going to jump over to Luna. And so that's what I've done. I've been using Luna for several months now. And I absolutely love it. It does everything that I need for it to do. Again, I'm using it for tracking, for mixing, for mastering. It does do MIDI production better than Pro Tools does it well. It does it in kind of a way that Logic does, but I'm, committed to Logic. I absolutely love Logic Pro. I don't think anything is going to get me away from using Logic Pro for MIDI production, but it does handle that as well. And I'm very satisfied with Luna. It is fantastic. They frequently release updates. There's a community. They listen to the community. Right in the DAW, they ask you to send in suggestions and things like that. They listen to those suggestions. They've just recently done another update that added even more crucial features that were missing as they're developing. The sound of it is amazing. And I'm going to do another video where I talk about the top features that I love about Luna, as well as some of the things that I would like to see them add. But I just want to give some advice to any of you guys out here who are interested in checking out Luna. Maybe you're thinking about switching. There are a couple things that you need to know. First thing that you need to know is in order to use Luna, you have to have universal audio hardware, which is not bad for me because I'm completely sold on universal audio. I love it. I currently am using my Apollo Twin. Ultimately, I want to be able to get the Apollo 8 and the 16 at some point and have those as my main interfaces, and then I can use my Apollo Twin when I go out to travel, because that's one of the things. If you want to use Luna out with your laptop, you got to have your hardware with you. So for me, that's not a big deal because I'm already a universal audio hardware person. If that is not your audio interface, if you're using something else, you might want to either get some universal audio hardware or maybe Luna is not for you. Another thing you need to be aware of is the stock plugin package for Luna doesn't exist. It really doesn't have any. I mean, it kind of does, because when you get your universal audio hardware, it comes with certain plugins that you can go and download. It gives you a voucher when you can go and download a few plugins, but it's nowhere near the robust stock plugin library that Pro Tools has, or even more so that Logic Pro has. So, which doesn't bother me because I have a very large library of plugins that I use. I'm a Slate Digital Access subscriber. I use some Waves plugins, and I just have a bunch of other plugins that I use. So that really isn't a problem for me. So if you're going to switch to Luna, you want to make sure that you have your plugin library, some plugin library in place. And some of the universal audio plugins, you can go right through the system and buy them, but they can be a little bit pricey. So that's something that you need to know. And then as you start to use it, if you're coming from Pro Tools, there are certain features, one or two, nothing major, but there may be one or two things that you might miss. But for the features that Pro Tools has that maybe Luna doesn't have, there's a workaround. There's certain things that you can do differently, and I'll go over some of those things for you later on. And another thing, and another reason why I made the switch, was I just needed a new creative environment. And this is some advice for some of you guys as well. Sometimes you might hit a wall creatively and you need a new environment. And sometimes changing your studio around, or in my case, even switching your DAW completely, can really help you find that creative energy that you need. So I'm now a Luna user. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna do some tutorials on Luna. I'm gonna show you some other stuff in Luna. Pro Tools, you can never completely say goodbye to it. It's always going to be lurking around in the shadows somewhere. So, you'll see Pro Tools pop up on this channel at some point. And I'll probably do some tutorials and things on Pro Tools as well, because there are a lot of Pro Tools users out there. But I am a Luna user and I absolutely love it. Have you switched to Luna? Are you thinking about switching to Luna? Leave some comments down in the comment section. What DAWs do you use? And how are you using them? Like I said, I use Logic for MIDI production. I'm using Luna for all my tracking, mixing, and mastering. How are you using your DAWs? What are your thoughts on Luna? What are some of the features that you would like to see them add? Talk to me in the comment section and let me know. Like I said, we'll be back. I'll do some other videos showing you some tutorials and talking a little bit more about things that I love about Luna and other things that I would like to see them add. And, you know, if you, in any of my videos, hear any weeping or wailing going on in the background, it's just Pro Tools. It's hard, but it'll be all right. All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.